Alright, what's up everybody? So today I'm going to be doing a custom project on my Genesis Coupe. Going to be doing a job on the stock fog light bezels. So as you can see how they're designed, that's plastic all back there. So no air gets through them at all. The only air coming in on the bumper is in the lower center grille and then the upper center grille. So I'm going to make it so air can get through between those two slots. And then in the fog light insert, that mesh back there is fake and it's just plastic back there. So I'll be cutting the backs out of that as well. And along with that, I'll be painting the whole lower section gloss black. So this piece and the bezels are going to be gloss black. That way I don't have to worry about them fading, because this is that plastic that you have to use like back to black on and stuff like that. So first thing to do is to take the bumper off. We're finishing up getting the little plastic screws out. I'll just show you how to do them real quick. So they look like that. Alright, so that one, all you do with the Phillips head is loosen it a little bit, and when it gets loose enough, you just wiggle it out, and that's what it looks like. Now we're going to take the bumper off. So the way you do it, put one hand kind of just back here behind it and give it a firm pop out. And then come around to this side and again now you have to put your hand there. Let's do that. So then you come to this side and just pop that out. And then right here, you lift that up. On this side, it's nice to have an extra person helping to hold the other side of the bumper, which my cameraman will do. So again, with the firm hand, pop that out, and give that a pop. We'll wiggle that, and it's off. So we'll just set it down. Alright, so that's how you get the bumper off. We got the bumper off. So how to get them off? There's a Phillips head in there, there, and there. So that's how you get the fog light inserts out. And then the actual bezel, again, there's just more screws. And then this piece, I'm not quite sure, but I guess we'll just kind of just pop it out. It looks like it's just kind of in with tabs. So we're gonna work on getting them out so we can start cutting them up. We're working on getting the fog light bezel out. It takes some work. You can see that tab right there. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 6 or 7 tabs. So you just got to use a flathead and just kind of work at it. It does take a little time, but eventually they'll get out. So when you're working on that, just take your time and make sure to do it right. Get this center piece out. What you do is get both screwdrivers, flatheads, pried in there between it, and then it just pops right out. We got the pieces dismantled, center piece and all the sides. So here's the fog light inserts, the 2 bezels, and the lower grille. So all these pieces is gonna be painted gloss black. The bezels, we're gonna cut out those blanks, put mesh behind them. The fog light inserts, I'm going to cut out the back so air can get through, paint those gloss black, and this whole center piece will be painted gloss black. And then the mesh I'm using, this is just gutter guard. You can get it like Lowe's or Home Depot for like $4. It's 20 feet long, and it's kind of got an X shape, so it'll make a good looking grill. And it's plastic, so it'll be easily glued in place and screwed in place. And then I got primer, clear coat, and my paint. Alright, so I just finished cutting the first fog light insert out. Pretty easy, it took like 2 seconds just to cut the end off. And here's the piece that came off. So now when that's in there, you can get some nice air coming in there. So I'll just sand that out to get it smooth, and then this will be ready to sand and prep for paint. Alright, so now is the kind of hard part, is cutting out this whole blank and this whole blank. So as you can see, I already drilled a big hole in there. And my plan is to use the normal metal or pipe cutting saw. And I'm thinking to put the blade in it and then put it on this has a 45-degree angle cut. So basically the blade will be through it and I can just cut straight down like that. Now how we're doing this. Long, slow cuts. There you go. Alright, so that's how you do it. And just do long, slow cuts and the blade will do the work. Well, we finished cutting them out. So here's our first attempt at cutting it out. See how I'm gonna have to go back and do a lot of sanding. And then the second attempt. Very much better, a lot closer to the edge. And then there's all the crap that we cut out. Now I'm going to do the sanding down of the plastic. And so the tools I'm using, actually pretty old. So this is a flat metal filer. And then this is a square. And this is round. So I'm going to be able to get at all the edges and make sure they're even and it looks like they're factory. Alright, I am about 90% done with all the sanding and cutting of the openings. See how they look a lot better than earlier. Still have a little bit of the edge to get up. A little bit more there. But it's definitely a lot of work. You can see that's all the sanding debris. Me and my brother have been working on this for at least an hour or two. So it's definitely work. What I found the best method is this triangular shaped sanding thingy. And then wherever the square one got to works really well. And then the round one works really well in the smaller details. And then this big one, which has a curve to it, if you can see it, that curve there, that really worked well for that roundness there. And then I've been using a sharp razor blade to go back and forth on the back side to cut off the excess. You can see that's what that's from. Alright, we're pretty much done with all the sanding. You can definitely see how much nicer that looks. I'd say this is at least 2 hours of work. So I used a combination of all the different hand files along with a razor blade. And then this is only a little bit of the debris. We already put some in the trash. But definitely a lot of debris. Alright, so now the next step is going to be using a nice grit sandpaper, not too rough because I don't want to really scratch the surface, but enough to do the whole plastic so the primer sticks well. And also I'll be you can kind of see the scratches in there with the light, and I'll be smoothing out the edges a little bit better. And then this, it's pretty good. I'm going to take nice sandpaper to everything and start doing that. Alright, I just did the next bit of sanding, and the paper I used, so it's 220 grit, extra fine, so good for plastic. So this is how they are. Let's see with the light. Yeah. So you can definitely see how it sanded it. That's just water back there. So the next thing to do is to prime them all, and then I'm going to do the same sanding again. and they definitely are looking really good. Everything is sanded and put up on the sawhorses now. I use nails and tape to create a nice little stand for everything. Yeah, that's the top of it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, this cleaner removes all wax and grease from the surfaces, and being that these pieces are going to be on the front of the car, the paint needs to be really durable to withstand rain and dirt and maybe rocks or something. So that will make sure the primer adheres really, really well. Okay, I just did the first coat of primer. Looks pretty good. I'll let that dry for a good amount of time, and then we're gonna wet sand everything again, and we're probably gonna sand it like almost to the plastic just to make sure the primer's in every little groove. I just completed the first sanding, or the wet sanding, after the first coat of primer. You can see I got pretty deep in it. I made sure I smoothed it all out. The primer, it looks really, really durable. I mean, over here you can see that little white line, that's me scratching it, and I mean, it doesn't actually chip, it just scratches a little. So, primer's definitely looking good.